Is everything falling apart in your life right now? Like everything you've built so far, everything you knew, every people you met, they are all either falling away and stuff are no longer how you thought they would be. I get the feeling that you may be going through the twin flame dark night of the soul. Stay with us as we share about this phase in your twin flame journey and how to best overcome it.
Hello and welcome to our channel Twin Flames Embrace. We are Paco and Déborah, Twin Flames in Union, and also certified ascension coaches with Twin Flames Universe. Like hundreds of other students too, we came into our permanent union, Twin Flame Union, because of the teachings of union. And if you would like to have more juicy topics about Twin Flames, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, so let's get right into our topic for this video, Dark Night of the Soul and the Twin Flame Journey. Ay, ay, ay. Let's be scary as fuck and just run
Yeah,
around in complete panic.
it
So,
can feel like that.
yeah, it is a very uncomfortable time in your journey, and we do know that. I know that I for sure experienced
I felt
this
exactly like her, not once, not twice.
many times.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. At the beginning of my journey, I was going completely bananas about it until I understood what it was, until I came across the term Dark Night of the Soul and I understood what it meant. And basically, what it's happening is you've been calling a change in your life. Something was not feeling good, and you've been kind of like, I want to change this. And at the same time, this is a very intimate process. Like maybe you were not fully aware that this is what we've been calling in. And what happens in the dark night of the soul basically is everything that is no longer in alignment with your highest good
yes.
will start to crumble and fall away. But it's not so that you are kind of like stranded in the middle of life, floating around with like no sense of direction or anything. Quite the contrary, it's opening the space for you to start building something new from a much healthier place.
Hmm.
And it took me a while to learn this, kind of like a couple of years, to finally be able to feel good about the process that was taking place. But this is basically what the dark night of the soul is, or what many of you may identify as the tower moment. Now, for those who are a lot into tarot, this is just what is happening. Everything that you knew may be falling away, but it's only ever giving room for something new. This
Yes.
doesn't mean that you're dying, although it does feel like you may be dying. These are just old parts of you that are in that process. But something very beautiful can grow from that. And this is a very common challenge we all have in our journey. It's mostly because when you are seeking for your twin flame, you're inviting something very divine. And it's a level of love that most of us, at least I know, I haven't experienced before. And this kind of relationship does not work how like regular relationships work, like the normal relationships that you've been having so far, or like let's call it a soulmate or karmic relationship if you're more into the romantic stuff. This is exactly not how it works. Most of us have very unhealthy ways of relating to each other. Most of us didn't learn to have appropriate boundaries, which is something that we are going to cover in a different video. And most of all, we don't know or haven't been taught how to build a life based on peace. So, again, this requires a lot of room. It means emptying our cup and learning something new from scratch, and can be daunting and can be challenging, we know, but it's not the end of the world. There are ways to go about this in a very simple and efficient way. And we're going to get to that in a few moments. So, again, keep in mind, everything is falling away, but it's leaving room for something new. I feel like this is very important to keep in mind.
That's why it's also a twin flame, dark night of the soul, because everything that's not meant to be in your life, in your romantic life, falls away that your twin flame can come.
Yeah, And you may be experiencing a dark night of the soul in your professional career, in your family relationships, in your relationships altogether, in your romantic life, or in your whole life altogether, like it happened to me. I was like left and right, everything was falling apart. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I didn't really have the tools. So I did the best I could. I just simply did my best to keep taking the steps that were in front of me and trying to figure out what was the purpose, like the hidden purpose of the whole process, because I knew that it had to meant something. There had to be a reason for everything that was happening. And this is where I've basically, one thing led to another, and I ended up learning that I was in the twin flame journey and that I was moving through a dark night of the soul, which propelled me to find ways of how to overcome this. Like this stage cannot last forever, was my first thought. Like, okay, there has to be something that I can do to kind of like move me forward and start seeing improvement here, because otherwise, like if this is where we are gonna stay, I don't like it. So, like, for those of you probably experiencing this, there are very common symptoms, but these are the same, the ones that I experienced in my life, which is this feeling that whatever you knew, it's kind of like crumbling or falling apart, that the old is not working out anymore, that even though you try to do things the same way over and over again, it doesn't go anywhere anymore. And at the same time, if you really get very clear with yourself and very honest, you will realize that you already knew that something wasn't working out and you really didn't want to go that road anymore. You just maybe felt like you didn't know any better, or you didn't have the courage to try something different. But this is the universe actually partnering up with you and saying, I got your back. We are going to do something different now. And it's going to be a little scary, but we got you. So this is basically like that feeling of, okay, everything is falling apart and I don't know what to do. That's kind of like basically it. And how can we navigate through this rather uncomfortable experience? Well, for me, what worked was the teachings of union. As I said, this kind of like propelled me to find a solution.
Yeah.
And this is when I found Jeff and Shelia and their teachings and their community, which we are going to share their links below. And I started listening to what they were saying, and everything started to make sense.
Mhm.
And I started practicing the mirror exercise, which they teach very in depth in one of the chapters of their book, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover. We highly recommend reading that. And this was the first piece.
Mhm.
This was what allowed me to see that if it wasn't feeling good, I could change it. I could at least feel better about it. I cannot control it on the outside, but I can control, so to speak, how I feel about the experience. And this allowed me to relax more and to better understand what was going on and to put the least resistance possible
To the process.
to the process of change and growth that was actually happening. And as I was going deeper with their teaching and I was engaging in their community with the Twin Flames Universe Open Forum in Facebook, I started receiving support and guidance from many of their members and the students that were already with Jeff and Shelia for quite some time. And this was very important. I think one of the things that we tend to oversee is
You need friends on the journey.
how much we need, yes, exactly, how much we need um, support system, a
Mhm.
net that kind of like holds us while we are still sorting ourselves out
Mhm.
through the whole thing. So this is what actually was gonna propel you forward is, first of all, finding tools to support yourself, creating a network,
Friends.
friends, a
True friends.
community, a space where you feel you can share safely about your experiences, and actually people are going to understand what you're going through and they are going to point you in the right direction.
Mhm.
And of course, applying the guidance that
Mhm.
you're given,
Mhm.
and be willing to do the inner healing work that requires, because all of this that is falling apart is showing you places where you may have not been deciding what was actually really best for you.
Yeah,
And this is a second, third, fourth, 100th time chance for you to make a different choice in that place and start building that life from a much grounded, peaceful, healthy way.
exactly. We would love to support you
Mhm.
in this process. So check out our website twinflamesembrace.com and book a first coaching session with us and get to know how we can support you.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. You're not dying.
No.
It's just an old life that you built
Yeah.
is the one falling away. You are given the chance to build something new,
Yeah.
way brighter and more beautiful than you can really think of. And
With
I testify to that.
your twin flame.
Yeah, because that's what actually will manifest your twin flame. Like I
Yes.
started taking the steps, I started healing,
Yes.
I started aligning with that new life, and
Ta-da!
ta-da! Somebody popped in my reality. I
Exactly.
wonder who.
Yes.
So this is the key for you to not like overcome, not just overcome the twin flame dark night of the soul, but actually conquering it and coming out through the other side of
Yeah.
it really like victorious and
Yeah.
feeling way better about the whole process. And
Yes.
it's safe for you to have a lot of patience and especially compassion,
Yeah.
because we know it's a very challenging time,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So give yourself space, look at the resources, tap into them, try them out, and yeah, don't hesitate to call in your support. You really
Exactly.
deserve it. So thank you for sharing this time with us. We hope to see you very soon, and we'll meet you in the next video.